man.
Cool.
Oh my goodness, dude, you have some of the best energy out of anybody I've ever met.
Thank you.
It's funny, we were talking about Jeremy just a second ago. He and I were actually just talking about you the other day, how it doesn't matter if you're performing in front of 5 people or 5,000, 10,000, like you have the same energy
Right.
when you're up there on the stage.
It's kind of like the only speed I got. It's the only way I know how to do it. Yes.
Yeah, it's all in.
Yep.
Dang, man. Have you always been like a very energetic guy? Because you're actually very mellow whenever like you talk to you, just kind of
Right.
just here, we're just talking wherever. You're very mellow. But then you get on stage and like the flip switches.
Yes.
Flips.
That's from a performance standpoint, that's the only way I've ever done it.
Yeah.
I can be a little bit hyper off the stage sometimes. But it's just
Yeah.
some of my favorite performers, that's how they did it.
Yeah.
You know, like if going all the way back, if you look at like cats like James Brown, Prince, got into like punk and then Fishbone and things like that.
Yeah.
All of them super high energy, and that's where I get a lot of it from. So
Yeah, that just was a lot of the influence that you saw
Oh yeah.
on stage.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how anybody could be high. I guess there are people who are high energy all the time, but
Yeah.
dude, I would feel so just exhausted.
Yes.
Being-
You get tired of looking at them and be like, whew.
Oh my goodness. The amount of energy that it takes to be on stage and perform. Just like a 90-minute set? How long is a typical set usually?
So these days we're doing almost 2 hours because there's so much material.
Yeah.
So it used to be like a typical thing was like 75 to 90 minutes.
Okay.
And now with the Urge, they're like 2-hour shows. It physically takes a huge toll, or it takes a lot.
Yeah.
So, imagine like a 2-hour version of like a hit class.
Wow.
That's what it feels like. It feels like a sledgehammer afterwards.
Do you take like a break in? Is it like 60 minutes and then maybe like a 5 or 10 minute break and then another 60 minutes? Or are you just like going all the way?
We go straight through, yeah.
Holy
we
shit.
go straight through,
dude.
yeah.
Man, I don't know how artists can do that without being in some sort of shape. Have you always been in shape like you are?
Yeah, there's times where I'm not as in shape, but
Yeah.
in some kind of condition, yeah. So
Yeah.
in the perfect world, I'd be like in really good condition for that stuff all year long.
Yeah.
But, like we'd go back in the studio
Mm-hmm.
and we'd write, for a couple 2 or 3 months, whatever.
Yeah.
During that period of time, I would try to like just lift weights and just try to stay semi-conditioned, and then right before we hit the road, then I'd really work on getting my cardio up and just being able to like
Yeah.
do some intense stuff like that. So
okay.
sprinting, basketball really helps.
Really?
Yeah.
Just anything just keeping you active
Yeah.
and running.
Oh yeah, big time.
Wow. Were you an athlete like as a kid?
I played as a junior. When I was little, we played football and baseball and basketball, and then as I got a little older, I just pretty much got really hardcore into playing baseball.
Okay.
All the way through like American Legion.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So so I was an athlete, big time.
Yeah. Well, St. Louis, Missouri. I mean, that's like a good place to play baseball.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I mean, this state is a baseball state.
There's so many amazing ball players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some serious athletes. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You see, I remember I played on a team whenever I was a kid. It was like 3rd grade, but it was like a 3rd grade traveling team, and it was just kind of go to all the local like towns.
Yeah.
And just the level of baseball that you get is crazy, man.
You'd be like, man, really?
Yeah. Like from a town of like 500 kids or
Yep.
something, and you guys got this stud kid who's just
Yep.
amazing.
4th grader throwing like 90 miles per hour. So there's always some crazy like, oh my God, kind of thing,
Yeah, just all that time spent,
Yep.
just spent playing sports. So you're an athlete a whole lot. So you're an athlete all growing up. Spent a whole lot of time playing sports.
Yep.
So you've always been very active then.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. So take me to like the beginning of like your musical journey, because I mean,
That's a good like question or a thing to ask, because I was in choir in high school.
Okay.
Along with playing sports and stuff, and then right my senior year or my junior year, I was playing high school baseball, American Legion, in the summertime, and then joined the band when I was my junior year. And started doing that. And it was kind of just this little side project, but really, really was loving it.
Okay.
And then, like my senior year, I kind of at that point made up my mind. I'm like, I really want to do this band thing. So I played through that, played one more summer of Legion Ball, and then I just decided that was it. So I had another year eligibility to come back, whatever, but I already made up my mind that I wanted to do the band. And so at that point, like, we started kind of venturing out and playing some shows outside of the city, outside of St. Louis.
Okay.
Man, when we hit the road, like after my senior year of high school, I was hooked. I'm like, I want to stay on the road, play shows every night. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
It was very clear. So yeah, I quit like seriously being an athlete, you know, like after my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel conflicted whenever you were like making that transition? Because those are like opposite worlds.
They're two totally different things.
Totally, like the kids who are usually in like the arts and the music and performance are not the kids that are typically playing sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like those are two different worlds. So
way two different things, but it wasn't conflicting at all. I mean, by that point, I had made up my mind. I'm like, this is what I really want to do.
Felt good about that.
Yeah. My parents weren't happy about it. They, like, in their minds, I was going directly from high school into college to play college sports and all this stuff, whatever, and I just kind of cut that short.
Yeah. It's like, wait a second, this is why you're in all the American League, and like, this is why we're playing all this baseball.
This is why we're doing all this stuff.
You're supposed to pay for college.
Yes. So I cut that short. I don't think they were happy about it, but after a couple of years of touring and really kind of just hammering it, they started seeing like how things grew. You know, and now that I think back on it, like, man, it was a lot of work and it took a lot of time. But, you know, from senior year of high school to the time when we started selling out venues in the area, it was probably like a 4-year period.
Okay.
So my parents started kind of seeing that, and they're like, oh, okay, I think it's something to it.
Yeah, like it's real now.
Right.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, as a parent, I mean, you're a parent, right? Like, you want the best for your kid.
Right, yeah.
Right? And a lot of parents, especially, there's like generations, like your way of thinking kind of changes from generation to generation, right? So one generation thinks that this, whatever the path is to success, right? And you usually go to school, get a degree, you know what I mean? Like, take that path. And if you're not taking that path, they probably just feel like, oh my God, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
They're so scared for you.
Yes, what are you doing? Yeah. They're afraid because that's the only thing they know,
Right, yeah.
Or they don't see it very often, you know, around that somebody, you know, takes an entertainment or musical path and becomes successful at it.
Right, it's not easy.
And you don't see it very often, so it's not something you can, like, put a finger on and say, well, you know, such and such did that. You know, I've seen it happen, so it's hard for them.
Yeah, because, you know, not a lot of people have successful neighbors who were in the entertainment industry.
In entertainment, yeah.
Right, so it's hard to really visualize that being a real thing, especially for your kid.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, what were those early days like? I mean, living on the road.
It was fun. It was like an adventure. I mean, because we didn't know what we were doing or we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So it was like an adventure, and we met tons of cool bands and other musicians, and we learned from them.
Yeah.
And then we started getting more gigs where we were opening for larger acts. Our manager used to run Mississippi Nights.
Okay.
So any band that would come through, he would try to get us an opening slot on stuff. So that was really helpful.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Because we get in front of a larger crowd, plus we get to learn how to like work the crowd, and we'd meet some bands and end up going on tour with them.
Yeah. Who's the biggest band you've gone on tour with?
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, we toured with 311 forever. I would say like that we started to, like, when things really kind of took off.
Yeah.
Korn was huge.
Yeah, Korn that's a big one.
I mean, and they still are. I mean,
they were just in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Korn was gigantic. I mean, we were over in Europe playing massive, you know, arenas and things like that. So it was, they were pretty big.
What's it feel like whenever you're standing on stage, and there are thousands? Maybe I don't know the number, but I'm sure it's like tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people out in front of you.
It's pretty awesome. Like I don't get nervous at all.
Yeah.
I get like just fired up.
Yeah.
Like just seriously.
Like this energy transfer.
Yeah. So then there's a ton of adrenaline. That's like it's like somebody just shot you in the arm with adrenaline.
Yeah.
So, ton of that. I get amped up. In fact, it takes me about. I always tell this like there was a way to diffuse the adrenaline out of the box. But it takes me about 20 minutes to like just kind of calm down.
Like after the show?
Like the show starts, boom, and like you just get this shot of energy and adrenaline.
Oh, so to like settle into the show.
So to settle into like what you're doing, it takes about 20 minutes for me, or at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember those first 20 minutes? Is it almost just like you're almost like in the zone, kind of like settling in?
It's like, how do I explain it? It's like the beginning of a sporting event.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how, I know you're a fighter. I don't know how that is when you first get in the ring.
Yeah, whether it's fighting or whether, I can always think some of my earliest memories were like football, where you're just so nervous,
Correct.
And I was always on special teams, especially like, kickoff or kick return, right? Everything's about to start, and then you just know you need that first initial contact.
Yes.
And then once you start getting those first few hits, then it's like, all right, now I'm relaxed.
Then you can play the game.
Exactly.
Yes. So that's the same way when I get on stage. The first 20, 30 minutes, it's just pure adrenaline. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I've been playing these songs forever, so I can deal with that. But it takes a minute before you start to get that swagger, like then you once that wears off, then you get you start doing your thing.
Did you ever get like an adrenaline dump because so in fighting, it sometimes that first round can just all that adrenaline, and then you settle in, and just depending on maybe how stressed out you were,
right,
and how will dictate kind of how you respond to that adrenaline. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just go from this extreme high to this extreme low, and it's like, oh fuck, now I'm like too relaxed, and you gotta kind of even out again. Oh yeah, it's like a little bit of adrenaline dump.
You get that dump, and then usually, hopefully, whatever you ate starts to kick in. It's like, okay. So, and then, that's funny because after all these years that, I have figured out what it is, like, okay, this is how much I need to eat.
Yeah.
This is when I need to eat.
Your entire routine.
I got a routine down, you know what I mean? So I can't eat too close to the show because it doesn't digest. It just sits in my stomach, whatever, and it's just like, blah. But I got to make sure I eat enough so I can have enough energy to get through 2 hours of jumping around.
Right.
So you get a little routine after a while. I figured out.
What is your pre-show routine? Like what's a day look like for you when you're gonna go perform?
Usually like an hour and a half before the show, I'll eat something with like usually a good amount of sugar in it. Like sometimes I have Snicker bars.
Okay, something
quick, something easy to digest. Mm-hmm. And then usually do my sound check or whatever, and then about a half hour before the show, I do straight calisthenics. I'll do like push-ups, sit-ups, just to get
all the blood flowing through.
Yeah, get moving, maybe get some of the adrenaline to like kind of...
try to work its way through your system.
So I had heard that Dennis Rodman would get on a stationary bike.
Oh, really?
Like, he'd ride that bike before the game just to get his nerves right, and just kind of get moving. So I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Usually about a half hour before I start moving really, really good. Mm-hmm. And then we hit it.
Do you, so like the day of a show, do you do like an early morning workout or anything, or do you kind of save your your movement for like that kind of time before the show? Are you an early morning workout kind of guy?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Yep. So it depends. Like because I do bodybuilding now, so I have to work my split based around my concert schedule because I play every weekend. So I do like. I can go ahead and work out on show days. If they're on a weekend or something like that, I can go ahead and work out because it's usually gonna be like upper body or something.
Okay.
But if I'll train legs like on Monday.
Yeah.
That way they're healed up by the weekend.
Yeah, you got time to recover.
I can walk. Yeah.
Oh my God, good deadlift or squat and then go in and try to perform.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't. Your legs like Jello. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. So I'll train like big stuff early in the week.
Okay.
And then just do my little workouts,
More ancillary stuff as the week progresses.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you would do that even on the day of a show, wake up early. So okay, even if it isn't the show day.
Right.
What's a day look like for Steve?
I'm up super early. I usually try to make food and stuff the night before, but usually I get up early. Mm-hmm. make food, make sure I got my lunch and all my
Okay.
meals and stuff, whatever.
Do you usually wait till later in the day to eat, like around like noonish, or do you eat breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast.
Okay.
I never have though.
Never.
So it's just one of them things like it slows me down.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have a meal after I work out,
Yeah.
but I don't just get up and eat breakfast.
Okay.
Just don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did when I was younger. I don't know if this is because you're supposed to eat
Because
all the time.
as a kid, you're like, you need to eat breakfast.
Right.
Which is probably not a bad thing.
You're right. Kind of as you're growing, but I don't. Yeah, I feel like two meals I usually feel pretty good on.
Yeah.
Or even if it's maybe like, just maybe a better way to say is like a shortened like eating window for me.
Mhm.
I usually do better. I feel less foggy.
Correct.
I don't feel as weighed down.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. Right now, I'm eating a little bit more frequently because I'm trying to grow a little bit in the off season from bodybuilding. So I don't eat breakfast, but then once I start eating, I'm eating like every 3 hours,
Okay.
and then stop, and then go to bed. So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have like a hard time that you try to stop by, or
Just like couple hours before I go to bed.
just a couple hours before bed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever that is. I try to get to bed as early as I can, but
Yeah.
right now it's about to be crazy. So
Dude, I don't know. Again, like the whole idea of one being in the restaurant industry,
Yeah.
it can be very daunting.
Yep. So it's really unpredictable, like especially when you open a place up.
Yeah.
It's really unpredictable. So like the next 6 months will be just kind of really crazy.
Right.
We got a really awesome crew now. Like I used to just do everything by myself. So I got a really good crew now. So I'm trying to like build some stability in like my
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But it's just gonna be times where it's just like, man, we're getting killed up here.
Right. And
So-
you're gonna come hop
Oh
and
yeah,
help.
big time. Yeah.
Man, dude. Yeah. Just you're changing locations. And are you're gonna keep that other location open, or you're gonna just consolidate to this one location?
Just everything's coming here.
in here, right? Yeah, and it's way more space. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be performing here on the stage behind
Yep.
us.
So we got a little stage. We got about 3 times the dining room area.
Yeah,
And it's the same neighborhood essentially. So
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at this wall here, and was this already here? Or did you have somebody paint this?
No, this was here.
Oh, dude.
So this is interesting. The artist, his name is Wayne St. Wayne. He passed away like a little while ago.
Oh.
But I'm probably getting this wrong, but he made this mural in the course of like a 20-year period.
Oh, really?
So he was just a regular here, and they let him come in here and work on it.
Come in and work. Oh man, you lucked out with this, in my opinion.
Yeah, so
this is pretty.
A lot of people who've been coming here for years, this is just a part of it.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to keep it, and
Yeah.
preserve it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I was looking at this before we started. I'm just like, man, I wonder who painted this. I'm glad you told me
Yeah.
because just some of the things in here. This is just a really cool like space.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
super cool. And I've come in here like a number of times just to drink.
What did this used to be?
This was Mangia Italiano.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was an Italian restaurant, but it was a 3:00 bar, so it was a big industry hangout.
Okay, so a lot of people come
Yep.
in here.
And they had jazz in here, like during the weekends and stuff. So it was a good hangout.
Yeah, this whole area is cool. There's just a
Yeah.
lot of good food in this area.
It's no joke.
Man, St. Louis is on the come up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
South Korean is really unique in that I think we make up like at least 16 different countries
Really?
food-wise in the area.
That makes sense.
I mean, at least. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like there's nothing we don't have on South Korean. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, the King and I was the first Thai restaurant, I think, in St. Louis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were the very
Sweet.
first ones. Yeah, so that's pretty cool, right?
That's
Just that-
way cool, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then I went to this one place. I'm pretty sure it's still down here. I think it was called Brasilia, maybe?
Yep, it's still down there.
Is it still down here?
Yep.
The owner of that place was so nice and
Yeah.
so friendly. We just went in there randomly one night, and he happened to know the guy I was with, but he was just so friendly. It's like
Yep.
it's like I went into his home.
These are all, most of them are, we were just talking about the other day, there's a lot of family-owned
Right.
restaurants, and a lot of the owners actually live in the neighborhood,
Which is cool.
which is way cool because they care about it. They care about their restaurant as well as like their neighborhood.
Right. It's just not just a business place.
Yeah.
It's like it's literally your community.
It's your place, yep.
Yeah. That's super cool.
So yeah, so it's we make up a lot around here, and we're glad to be part of it. Like our old spot over in Tower Grove East, was awesome. We were able to kind of really galvanize that neighborhood with the TikTok and everything.
It's a very cool neighborhood spot.
Well, we just kind of started running out of space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't have any storage back there. We literally could. We only had like a day and a half, 2 days worth of storage for inventory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make that work?
So we just were running back and forth to the store, our distributor would come by like 2-3 times a week. So this gives us a little bit more wiggle room on that.
Yeah. Is this like twice the space, 3 times the space?
I'd say, yeah. The dining area is probably 3 times if you add the bar, if you take the bar out of it. But yeah, we can fit about 3 times the amount of people.
Yeah, I mean that's a good problem to have to need more space.
Yep, it's good stuff.
Dang. What made you want to transition into the restaurant industry?
Food was gonna be like my second job. It was gonna be like a day job.
Oh, okay.
Because I was playing before I opened the first hot dog place. I was playing a lot. Like my guitarist and I. God, we were doing like almost 200 shows a year.
Oh, wow.
There was a couple of years where we did more. And I'm like, man, this is a lot and this is good, but maybe I can strike some balance.
Yeah.
You know, with family and everything. Like maybe I could play like 100 shows a year and then build a small business that I could, work at during the day.
Okay.
And so I bought a hot dog cart. I kind of actually, like, man, no one's selling food to people on the street after the shows. Like you play at a bar and you walk out and there'll be nobody selling food. I'm like, man, we were in Chicago or someplace or New Orleans. Mm-hmm. There'd be somebody selling some food out here.
You'd see it.
And I just didn't see it around St. Louis. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy a hot dog cart. I'm gonna get in that game. And some folks were like, what? I mean, a lot of people were like, man, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, it's a relatively small investment. I'll just give it a shot and see how it goes. And so I bought one. Found that it was hard to do the nighttime thing because I'm playing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to put anybody at risk, being out on the streets at night.
Yeah.
So did some research. And lunch is really lucrative. So I'm like, well, at the time, I think in the city of St. Louis, you had like 16 places where you could legally sell food on the street.
Okay.
They actually give you a map. Like you can sell food here, 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 here. Mm. And all of those spaces have been taken except for a couple spots over by the Procter & Gamble, the factories down there by the river.
Yeah.
Turns out it was awesome.
Really?
Just all over-the-road drivers, intermodal drivers, factory workers.
Yeah, just blue-collar guys.
Yep. And they're all in and out, and they can't eat. They can't stop to eat. So it's literally just like making hot dogs, throwing them at it.
Oh,
it was
dang.
So it was a good little gig.
Like happened upon a gold mine.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then only thing that sucked is when the weather gets bad, like when starts turning into winter.
Right.
And you can't go out there. So
cart is not the move.
Like I need a building, to put this in, and I want to expand on the menu anyway. So we found a place on the hill. That would be open our first shop over there.
Oh, so you started in the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Steve's Hot Dogs on the Hill. That was the first brick and mortar. And
when was that?
2011.
Okay.
No, yeah, 2011. We opened that one. And
10 years now.
Mm-hmm. And it did really well. And opened shortly after that, a few years after that, we opened the Tower Grove one. So we had 2 going at one point, yeah. And then shortly after that, I opened a small kiosk inside the pageant. So I opened a small one inside the pageant. So at one point, it was 3 Steve's Hot Dogs going.
Yeah, you had a lot going on.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a ton. So
and you're still doing shows and stuff during this time.
Still playing, yeah. Not as much as I was then, but I'm still playing pretty regularly, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was like kind of the first, that was my way into food,
Okay.
It's just looking for, an entry-level way into the food business and just looking for another business, another form of income.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had the place on the hill, and then you had the kiosk in the pageant, mm-hmm. and then you were over here by Tower Grove East.
Yep.
And then you just decided to maybe just like cut a couple of locations back. Was it just easier to manage with your life?
I had this like cascade of events. Someone call it a cascade because it didn't happen just like that fast. But it was like we started to lose a little bit of business at the hill because the bridge closed, the Kings Highway Bridge.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I just, in my mind, I'm like, and I'm thinking back, like there's probably a couple things I could have done to like pivot around that. Mm-hmm. But with running both at the same time,
Yeah.
I just was kind of stretched too thin.
Yeah.
So at which point, this one started basically cannibalizing the other business because they're so close together.
Oh yeah.
So after a while, my lease is up, and
Yeah.
I don't want to make any more improvements to this particular building. So I closed the Hill shop and then just really focused on Tower Grove.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
The pageant lasted like maybe close to a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned in that situation that what you do in your shop, restaurant, doesn't always translate to the kiosk format.
Yeah.
So that was a relatively small investment, so it wasn't, it was
It's a learning experience.
It was a good learning experience.
Yeah. Man, this is not an easy industry, as we were kind of talking about
No,
off
yeah,
air.
yeah.
You know?
But you have to try things, though. I mean,
Right.
You have to go out there and try things. Yeah, see how they work.
Yeah, just always trying to pivot, try to figure out how to solve the next problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I was talking to Kui Tran, who
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and he was just kind of schooling me to the restaurant game. And
Yeah, that guy's. He can tell you probably a lot of things. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's been in the restaurant since he's like a very little kid.
Yeah.
So just learning about all of the challenges, and especially just the people that made it through the whole shutdown.
Yeah.
It's like now everybody, from what Kui was kind of telling me, is like now everybody kind of has an opportunity to kind of come up for air and kind of assess all the damage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you went through a 12-round fight. It's like, oh fuck, man.
You really had
How
to
messed
put
up
your
am I
head
really?
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to put your head down, and make a move almost like for us it was like almost every day. We were coming up with some kind of way.
Yeah.
To represent, the food, the brand. We just kept doing this to keep the interest there while people were shutting down.
Right.
So, yeah, we were moving around on a daily basis, daily, weekly.
Yeah, just trying to stay afloat and just
Yep.
trying to make this thing successful.
Oh yeah,
Man.
Yep.
I think there's a guy back here. I don't know if he needs you or not.
Might be. I didn't see who it was. Probably Joe.
Okay, I just didn't know if you were needed for something.
I think we were good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It really fascinates me because like as I'm thinking about like what we're gonna talk about and different things, and as I'm kind of like learning about you and seeing, it's like, man, you are like a go-getter, right? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously a very long career performing in the music space, and then you decide to take part in the whole food industry,
Mm-hmm.
opening up a restaurant, but you're also, again, you have a family, and then you're doing the bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you seem like a very goal-driven guy, just always looking for like the next challenge.
Yeah, those are like goals are great for me. They keep me on track.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I got this going for me, and I need to
Yeah.
build systems to get me to this next point or whatever. So
Yeah.
it helps keep me on track.
So structure, has that something that you've kind of like learned along the way?
Yes.
Were you structured in the beginning of your life?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
When I think about it, with sports and stuff.
Yeah. So you just took that same structure and just applied it throughout.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or you try to make it. You try to create structure.
Yeah. I've always found I've kind of always had the same structure in my life. Kind of going back to whether it was like school, and then I had sports after school, and then it was just like I don't know, I did homework, or I started getting a job. It's like either way, I had these blocks in my life, and I would just like plug and play. Like whenever I wasn't going to school, then I started working full time, and then whenever there wasn't after school practice, it became doing jiu-jitsu and MMA practice.
Right.
And you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like always just kind of plug and play into different things,
Yep.
but still kind of in this general structure.
Yep. They keep you in kind of this lane,
Yeah.
and so you have these kind of a guideline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how you keep a structure as a young man on the road.
That honestly, that is incredibly structured.
Really?
Especially when you get, I almost liken it to like being in the military. Like you get up, like you structure your day. I mean, I did anyway.
Yeah.
And so like you get up, get your breakfast, get your coffee, get you going, get your workout. Usually like you're off to do some kind of press someplace. You come back, you do your sound check, and you do little warm-ups, whatever. You eat and you play the show, and then you go to bed.
Go to
I mean,
bed.
after a while, if you've been out for a really long time,
Yeah.
there's not much partying that goes on because
The allure of the party is.
because it just kills you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably where my head is. I'm just like, man, you're on the road, you're performing. It's probably even later after the show. It's like, man,
It's always there, trust me.
yeah,
That's always there.
like you got to have discipline.
Yeah, but it'll kill you though. Like,
Yeah.
physically, like you just can't do that and then put on an hour, 90-minute show the next day and do it well. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Do you prioritize sleep?
I don't require as much as
Okay.
some people do, but then it catches up. That's one thing where I really have to consciously kind of like go to bed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, but I need to prioritize sleep.
Oh,
But
okay.
right now, I would say I probably am not. Yeah.
I mean, whenever you're trying to get shit done,
Yeah.
and there's always something to be working on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard just to turn it off at night
It's
because
extremely hard. Yep.
there's always
Just
something.
yeah.
Yeah, new idea, or did I call this person? Did I do that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, there's
Yep.
so much to do.
it's never ending. Yeah.
Dang. Did you have any like mentors early on, or even now? Is that something that's kind of
I felt like early on, my parents, of course, and then various coaches I've had and with stuff, whatever, and then through the restaurant, music. I'd say like Pat Hagen, he runs the pageant now. He was
Okay.
running Mississippi Nights at the time. Just started learning the insides and outs of like that thing.
like the business side of music, or
Like the performance business side of it, like what it takes to do shows,
okay,
that kind of thing. And then I learned a lot from our current manager, Phil. He was like the retail king
oh really?
back in the day when retail existed. I learned a lot from Phil. He just knew so much about the game inside and out. Like he was on the record side of it. He was on the radio side of it. He was on the touring side of it. He had just kind of been in the industry for a while.
Oh okay,
And so I learned a lot from Phil. Still learning a lot from Phil because he's still in the game, like
Yeah.
big time. So
that's valuable to have
Yeah.
somebody like that.
food, I don't have a food background.
Yeah,
So I just learned as much as I possibly could from folks around me. Just,
yeah,
how do we do this? Or, and one of the guys that's here, Joe, he's been in food for his whole life, whatever. So I learned a lot from Joe. So
yeah. There's such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the food industry here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I always tell people like this city is a hidden gem. When it
it's
comes
becoming not hidden. People are starting to figure it out.
that is true. That is true.
Starting to figure it out,
I
yeah.
don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, we do want people here, but
Yeah. We have some people that come up to the shop regularly from out of town. I just start talking to them. I'm like, yeah, we visit St. Louis. We're from someplace in Kentucky, whatever. We come up to St. Louis on a weekly basis just to eat.
really?
Yep. And
Oh
then they
wow.
hit different places, yeah, because he's like, there's a ton of food in St.
There's
Louis.
so
Like,
many places.
there sure is, yep.
Oh my goodness. What are some of your favorite spots?
Oh, man, Gorilla Street food.
Yeah, they're great.
It's like a guilty pleasure. It's like, okay, man, I'm gonna go down that hole. That's some good stuff, man. It's so
yeah.
good.
Yeah. It's savory for sure, dude. It'll fill you up.
I like that. Gotta have my barbecue spots. I like Sugar Fire,
Yeah,
Happy's.
we're known for barbecue. There's so
Yeah.
many good spots.
There's a lot of them. There's a ton of them.
I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where you almost don't want to like name places because you don't want to like leave out places.
That's
but
in my mind. I'm thinking exactly the same thing. I'm like, man, there's too
Dang.
many places.
There's
Yeah.
so many places. Like my fiance and I, we go. Speaking of Quee, we go to Nudo House pretty regular. They have some pretty phenomenal flavors coming out of that place.
Yeah,
And the Miley's
they know
great.
what they're doing. Yeah, big
Yeah.
time. So good.
But Jeremy and I, we had like 4 or 5 of your hot dogs the other day. Man, the smoky flavor
Yeah.
that comes through on a lot of those
Yeah.
is exceptional.
That's our thing. Nobody does the smoke like we do. So
Yeah, it tastes so good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I take great joy in being able to like recommend good spots to people.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes me so happy to send
Yes.
somebody to a good place to eat.
Uh,
We're very fortunate here in St. Louis.
Yeah, we have no shortage of food. I mean, just every neighborhood's got their little thing too.
Yeah,
Like you have the Hill, which is a lot of Italian food down there,
right.
and it's all good.
Oh man,
I mean, all of it is very good.
we went to I think it was Zia's on the hill and got a sandwich. I got a sandwich there the other day, and oh my
Yeah.
god, it's some of the best bread I have had.
That's Sandwich Central down there, man.
Oh,
It's like
man.
all sandwiches.
You can't pick a bad spot.
Uh-uh.
Dang. I love it. I love it. It's just, we're getting the inner fat kid out of me right now. I was a very large child.
Well, you're looking great.
I do my best.
Right.
I had to just figure out what works for me.
Right.
I have no control when it comes to eating.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Do you so you mentioned Guerrilla Street Food. Like what are some more like the guilty pleasures if you are just going down that rabbit hole? Are you a soda drinker or ice cream?
I'm not necessarily a soda drinker, but I'm like, I can't control myself around like sweets. I've never been able to say no to a cake ever. Here's some cake. Okay.
That's funny. That's funny. Just go whole Steve Aoki and just throw a whole cake in your face.
Whew. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Miss Hullins. Miss Hullings.
No, I have not.
Used to be like a cake maker in St. Louis.
Okay.
A little small. I think there was more than one, but they made these like super decadent cakes. Like they have like a yellow cake that has like 8 layers on it with chocolate in it. You can only eat one slice because it was so like rich.
Yeah.
And so there's I think they still make it, and I know they still make it. Straub's has it, whatever. So that's delicious. Around here, there's just tons of ice cream. Isis, you've been to Isis?
I've never been to Isis.
So they do the liquid nitrogen.
Oh,
thing.
really?
Yeah. So,
okay.
So
yeah.
it's super rich. It's really good ice cream.
Yeah,
So-
I need to check that out.
And it's in the neighborhood. It's over in Shaw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely a weakness is ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Just oh my goodness.
Sweets, anything with
a whole
sugary,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Sugar's that killer, boy. Bringing out the fat kid in you now, Steve.
Anything sugary, boy. There you go.
And you just go lift and just work it off.
Got to.
Dang. How many bodybuilding shows a year do you try to get in?
I try to compete at least once a year because prep is long.
Yeah.
So there was one year I did 2, like pretty close to each other. So man, that was physically and really, really mentally demanding.
Just a little too much for a
You're
year's
just
time.
being on a diet for like 8 months straight. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
It's excruciating.
yeah,
Like the mental fatigue
yeah,
from constantly denying yourself.
yep. So that was tough. But now, if I can prep for one show a year, that's cool. Then I stay that leaves me in pretty good shape for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
You know, just try to maintain a little bit, but
And just kind of maintain for shows. And
yep.
Are you doing anything for like recovery wise, like mobility or sauna or ice bath or?
No, luckily I haven't had any major issues with that.
Okay.
I do like if I can get a massage. I have a guy over in Clayton, since Live, whatever, and he is great. So I'll be like, I got some aches, whatever. Mostly he's just massages and says,
Yeah.
just have a ton of tension.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll try to correct if I have any imbalances, like movement and things like that.
Right.
Like, well, how are you doing this? And then I'll just change that. That usually helps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we tend to favor different things. It's easy to create an imbalance.
Oh, yeah. He says pretty much anything you got going on wrong with you is from some imbalance or some bad habit you got. You know?
Right.
So, yeah.
And then like where you're feeling the pain is never like that's not really the cause.
It's not. That's crazy.
It's like this other side over here.
It's like, well, over here is causing the pain down here. Like,
Yeah. It's like how does that work? It's like your shoulder's hurting because your ankle's messed up.
Yes. Yes.
But that's how it works, man.
But I think if I feel like if I stay moving and if I stay like really well hydrated, I tend to have less like the ickies and achies. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. That water is a big point.
Yep.
It's easy to miss.
It's very easy to. Yeah.
I try to get a gallon in.
It's about a gallon.
Is that what you're drinking?
About a gallon, and then when I get closer to prep, I'm at closer to 2 gallons a day. Which
Water
is a
load.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So you trying to do like more like distilled water, so you're kind of monitoring your sodium and then
No, I don't
flush it
really-
out, or
I don't really go that
Okay.
deep into it. I have a coach that keeps an eye on me. Like he can visually see if I'm flat or if I'm low on sodium.
Yeah.
He can actually take a look at that. I
He's
can't
just
see it, but
yeah, he's so used to judging.
Yeah.
You can see that.
he can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, water is so key though. I mean, just for your immune system and your digestive and
Everything,
just
man.
your joints and just to keep the whole
It's
machine
energy
running.
levels, like everything. It's like sometimes I think I'm hungry,
Yeah.
or tired, and really I'm just dehydrated. So.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So true. Oftentimes you think you're hungry, but you're just thirsty.
Yeah.
Because the signal really isn't too different.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, it's about the same. So it's like, man, and then you just start eating. It's like, why am I not feeling better?
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I did that yesterday. I messed around. I didn't drink enough water. I started getting a headache, and then I started snacking on some cashews. And like, I don't know what I'm craving, but it's like, obviously it was water.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yep.
The food wasn't.
It wasn't
helping.
doing it.
No.
Nah.
No, not at all.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And especially now, like, I try to stay on point with my immune system right now.
Right now, yes, because I mean, luckily, like, we have COVID, but since everybody did kind of distance and mask up and everything, I think we were less exposed to other things temporarily.
Yeah.
But now that we're getting back in the game, it's like our immune systems kind of took a break.
Yeah, it's almost like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Because your immune system gets strengthened through exposure.
Yeah.
Right? So then it can do its thing, and then now it's stronger.
So, yes, anything you can do to kind of keep
Yeah.
yourself up there, like give yourself a fighting chance,
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I get, like, water and get sunlight, as much sunlight as I can, fresh air. Do you supplement at all, like vitamin D or creatine or anything like that?
I do. I have, my main ones are creatine. I do the BCAAs.
Okay.
Just started doing it like a few years ago and just keep doing it.
Yeah. Do you feel a difference with that? Or?
Well, I had a coach tell me, like, just take these.
Yeah.
And you won't notice a difference until you stop taking them.
That's true too.
And maybe this is just me psychologically convincing myself, whatever, but it felt like I was a little bit more achy after some big workouts. Like after I was like, man, I'm tired of spending the money on this, and so I quit.
Yeah.
But, so now I do the BCAAs, I do the creatine. I supplement with a little extra protein in the morning.
Okay.
After big workouts and stuff, whatever. Fish oil, multivitamin. So
Yeah.
I try to get D from sunlight if I can.
Right. Yeah. I try to get from sunlight, but if I've been adding it in here and there, especially moving into the winter and fall.
Right. I probably should. I probably should be supplementing more D, probably.
Yeah.
Especially in St. Louis where you get like months of gray.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and also, man, I mean, the more melanin you have, you need more exposure to get more vitamin D. So, do you get like regular blood work or anything like that to try to check your markers or anything?
Now I do. So I turned 50, so now I get checked on, and they're mostly checking for like sugar,
right?
Like cholesterol.
Check your lipid panel. And
thing that's kind of stuff, whatever. So
yeah, just to get a baseline. Yeah, that's just so important, man. Just taking. I always tell people, like, I fired 2 primary doctors because one of them, I asked for blood work and he acted like I didn't need blood work unless I was having some sort of like bad symptom. It's
and
like,
that's just weird. Like, can you just do it?
Yeah, can you just do it, please? Like, I want to be proactive. Like, you should take ownership of your health. Is my point. It's like, man, you got to find a doctor who's going to work with you and like do these things. So I'm always curious because obviously you're very well like taken care of. It seems like you you care about your health.
You got to keep an eye on it because you don't know. Like, you might my cholesterol can get high even if I'm in shape.
Yeah.
So I have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, it helps to get those numbers because you can't just look at somebody and tell.
Nope.
Like, you can try, but there is this thing, like, you can actually be normal weight, but what's considered metabolically obese. Yep. So when your numbers come back, you might as well be 500 pounds.
Correct.
So
things ain't moving yet.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's good. It's good to go.
Yeah.
Especially as you start getting older, you like, let's go get checked out.
Man, 50 is not what it used to be though. Like, you look phenomenal.
It doesn't have to be.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't have to be. Yep.
Yeah, man. I remember whenever I was like real little, thinking like 50 was super old.
It was like, oh man, 50's kind of sucks.
It's like you're basically dead.
Right. It's like, dude.
It's like, nah, man,
so
you got a whole lot left.
Yes, and I'm in the old man club. Yeah.
I always say I'm gonna live till I'm 106.
Right.
I don't see why not.
There's physically no reason why you can't.
You definitely can.
Right.
Dang. Are you a reader? Do you like listen to audiobooks or listen to podcasts or read or?
Yeah, I've always been a reader. But now I've been listening to more and like on Audible and things like that. Yeah.
Kind of makes it more just like easier as you're going.
Now I can kind of just move around and still, listen to stuff.
Yeah. Do you have any like recommendations or anything that you really enjoyed listening to?
Yeah. Tell you what, this guy named Michael Matthews, have you heard of him? It's like a fitness guy.
Okay.
But a lot of his, like if you read his first book, a lot of his philosophies are borrowed.
Okay.
In other words, like he's borrowed some really killer philosophies from people on motivation, just like all kinds of things. And so it's just really good basic thinking on how to be better as an individual, not just from the fitness standpoint, but from business, everything else. You know what I mean? So it's a really good book. It's called Bigger, Leaner, Stronger.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm selling somebody else's book, but it's really good though.
I'll have to check it out. I'm always just looking for different things.
Yeah.
Have you read that book, or actually I listened to it. I bought it after I listened to it because I like physical books, but it's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
No.
He was an FBI negotiator for a very long time. And I think he was like the head of their international investigations, but now he basically just teaches negotiations.
Cool.
And the book is called Never Split the Difference, and I've probably listened to it 3 times already.
I'll check that out.
It's just so interesting. And for me, at least that one in particular, I find it's helped me better just in just regular just like conversation, even if it's like kind of outside the whole like negotiating.
Right.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm gonna check that out. Probably does he maybe go into like some of the psychology of like
he does
speaking and
he really does. It's really cool because he goes through I can't remember how many chapters there are, but in each kind of chapter he kind of gives a story of a real world like negotiation that they had, and he kind of goes through a principle and technique that they use. So
cool.
A very common one is just like mirroring.
Yeah.
So people do that all the time.
You naturally do that.
You naturally do it, right? But he goes deeper into it. He does go into the psychology of it, like why it works and how it works, and maybe some ways to do it, and then how you can maybe pair that with something where he calls like tactical empathy. And then one of the things that really stuck out to me is just kind of like what questions to ask instead of like asking like why, but ask more like what or how.
Okay.
Just different things like that. It's so fascinating. I'm always listening to it and picking up something a little bit different every time I read it.
I'll have to check that out.
Man, it's one of my...
That sounds like really interesting.
I cannot speak highly enough of this book.
Sweet.
Yeah, Never Split the Difference.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, man, I'm always looking for something to read. I'm reading right now 1984 by George Orwell.
Yep.
Yeah. I've never been much of a fiction guy or novel guy, but this book is blowing my mind. Have you read it already?
I have not.
Man.
I've not read Orwell. I've read just ungodly amount of fiction.
Yeah.
In my life, but I've not read that.
But he's one of those guys. Like even if you haven't read it, like you knew exactly what I was talking about because his works are just so talked about. So I've heard about him so many times. I decided just to pick up the book. I'm just, just so many good reads out there.
Some of those classics, you read them, you go, okay, that's why it's a classic.
Like, for real.
Cool, I get it, yeah.
And I read Orwell's Animal Farm in high school. They actually made us read that, like in 9th grade.
Yeah.
So I can think about reading that book now as a 9th grader. I'm thinking about rereading it now as I'm about to be 34. So as a 34-year-old man, like, and how I would interpret that differently.
Yeah.
Just because conceptually, I'm sure I missed a lot of different
You missed
things.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it just it blows my mind to kind of go back and like reread a book or go listen to like an old CD or album or something with different ears.
The lyrics like make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that's the beauty of art.
Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
Well, sweet.
Dude, Steve, thank you so much for doing this, man.
You got it, man. This is great.
Yeah, dude, let's I want to be respectful of your time. Man, I think we talked about pretty much everything going on with you. Is there anything that you wanted to direct people to? Obviously, I'm going to put some things in the show notes.
Yeah.
The new location is opening up, I think, at the end of the month, right?
Yep.
The 27th?
24th.
24th?
24th, we got the new place opening. The Urge is doing a big concert.
Yeah. Any shows coming up that you want to direct people to or anything like that?
We're going to be down at the Pageant November 26th with Fragile Porcelain Mice. It's got a big urge thing, and I don't know, just keep an eye out for what we're doing here at the shop. We're going to have a ton of events. That's kind of what we want to do here.
Just turn this into the spot.
Now
to
we
be.
have enough room and space to do more musical events.
That'll be
so
cool.
That's going to be our thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Really excited for it.
Yes.
Steve, thanks again, brother.
You got it, man.
All right,
You got it.
everybody.
You got it.
Until next time.